So I got a challenge I wanted to try for myself. Can I turn one sheet of plywood into $250? Let's find out today on Salty Woodworking. Now this video is going to be structured a little bit differently than how my normal videos are. Normally I show you whatever I'm going to make and then we go through the process. This time I decided I wanted to make it a little bit of a challenge on you guys. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to make. I'm just going to make it, and at the end you'll see what it is. So if you want to play along and you kind of guess what it is throughout the video, leave a comment below and let me know. I'm going to leave some clues throughout the entire video of some items that are kind of related to what I'm building. So I kind of feel like this can be a fun game. If you want to skip to the end and figure out what I made, I get that. But stay along, see what I make, see if you can enjoy the game and figure it out. Now there is one tip I'll give you. The genre that this project is around was just broadcast on TV not too long ago for a massive audience. So that can kind of give you a little bit of an idea what it is, but let's go ahead and get started with this. I will have plans available on my website for this if you want to. It's a very, very basic project with basic tools. Let's get into it. All right, so first off, let me get my 1/2-inch piece of plywood I'm gonna use for this project. Boom. So just a tip, I will be cutting on my workbench, but I have a piece of foam underneath so I can use my track saw to cut this and not have to worry about cutting into my workbench. Pick up one of these if you use a track saw a lot or like a skill saw or something like that on a workbench. This saves you a lot of time of having to set up like sawhorses or something like that. So I will have plans available for this project on my website. It's gonna have a full cut list, step-by-step plans on how to make it. So if you're following along, rewatching the video with the plans, this is the part you wanna jump on ahead. I'm making this entire thing out of one sheet of plywood. So I'm gonna lay out all my cuts on one sheet of plywood. And then after that, I'm gonna get out my track saw and get cutting. Now you don't have to have a track saw. You can use a skill saw or a circular saw. Shoot, you can even use a jigsaw if you want to. Just get you you can get 2 pieces of straight board just like this and make yourself kind of a little homemade track saw that you can use with your circular saw. I used this for a long time before getting my track saw and it was a lifesaver. So you don't have to have a track saw, but I'm gonna use one just because I have one and it makes it a whole lot easier on me. So let's get moving on that. So as you can see, I have all my parts laid out. They're all cut. And to be honest, you really don't get too much scrap from this project. You got a little pile here of a couple pieces of scrap, but it's enough to hold on to for another project. Now, I still have some curves I have to cut on a couple of these pieces. So I'm gonna use a mixture of my jigsaw and a sander to achieve those curves. I'm gonna show you a trick of how to easily mark out curves, especially kind of on the side that I wanna do for this one, because it's kind of particular. So let me show you that. So this is the only part of the project that can get a little bit confusing. I have to make some pretty particular curves on these pieces, these side pieces, and it takes a little bit of measuring, a little bit of math, a little bit of figuring out on how to do it. But it's actually not too hard. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and mark out a few measurements. It might be a little tough to see, but I have 3 marks here on where I'm gonna put a nail or something. I haven't quite figured that part out yet. But I'm gonna put it on a side that I know is gonna be pretty well hidden. So I'm gonna try to find some kind of small fastener I can put in each one of these pinpoints, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use that to lay out my marks. So I'm gonna use a couple of drywall screws real quick. All right, now I have those 3 screws in place. I'm going to find a thin piece of wood that I can easily bend. Okay, so instead of using a piece of wood, I'm gonna use this very cheap metal ruler I have. Now, it's probably gonna bend it in the process of doing this, but it'll achieve the goal I want. So what I want to do is have it be on the outside of this screw and the inside of these two screws. You'll see exactly what I mean. So just like that, that is giving me the radius that I want to cut out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my pencil and mark it out. Now that I have that done, I'm gonna take these screws out. And one slight thing I'm gonna change, just since two of the screws were where, like, they would still be left if I didn't cut them out, I'm just gonna kind of freehand this out a little bit to not interfere with that screw hole. Just kind of try to blend it in as best as possible. These corners also won't be super sharp. I'm going to use my sander once we get to that point to kind of round them over just a tiny bit, but not much. It'll be like just a little tiny round over I do with the sander. I'm going to screw these two pieces together towards the back so they'll be hidden, but that way I can use my jigsaw and make this in one cut, and both of these will be mirror images of each other because I need them to be the same. Now thinking about it, I'm just going to use a couple brad nails just to kind of hold it in place. So one side will be shown, but I'm going to put them towards the back so you can't notice them too well, and we could always putty them up. All right, now the two pieces are held together and they're not going to move. I want to say a huge thanks to Woodworkers Guild of America for sponsoring today's video. It's an online community packed with easy to follow woodworking videos, project plans, and tips from real experts. They cover everything from basics like shop safety, tool buying advice, and understanding wood species, to beginner-friendly skills like jigs and fixtures and table saw techniques. You'll find a ton of stuff that's perfect if you're just getting started. What I like is that the videos walk you through each step clearly, and the instructions explain everything in a way that's easy to follow, even if you've never done it before. I've been watching their content on shop safety and basic joinery, and look, I tell you, I wish I had something like this when I first started. It would have saved me a lot of time and money and a lot of mistakes. And right now, they got a great offer just for you. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a full year of premium membership for only $1.49. It's a great way to jumpstart your woodworking journey with solid info and support from a real community of makers. So check it out, join the community, and start building the right way with Woodworkers Guild of America. So now I'm gonna take my jigsaw and go ahead and cut this radius out. Now that I have this cut with the jigsaw, I can go ahead and use my sander and just kind of smooth this out a little bit so it's kind of a cleaner edge. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my bottom pieces and we're gonna put this together. I'm gonna use these square clamps to help me out with lining these up and making sure everything is square, but I'm just gonna use some glue and brad nails to put this together. Now I'll leave a link in the description for these 90-degree clamps. They do help out a lot. They're cheap on Amazon, definitely worth the buy. But go ahead and put this together with some brad nails and glue. All right, so now I'm gonna put some 1-inch blocks in here, and that's gonna hold up the subfloor. You'll see what I mean. Now you can use any scrap wood you have laying around. I just used some poplar and cut some 1-inch tall blocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in each corner and brad nail them in place. So now that we have the blocks in, these are gonna help hold our floor in. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the floor in. Just like that, we got our floor in, nice and sturdy and looking good. So I will be using brad nails and glue for this entire project. For the most part, I might use pocket holes on one or two things, but you can use whatever you want. You can screw it in, brad nail it in, pocket hole it. Shoot, if you got a domino and want to go that far, you could domino this thing together. We're gonna get started by putting our sides on. So apply glue to one side. Now this part will be a little tricky by yourself, but you can make it happen. Now I'm just kind of tacking it in place right now because once we get the back on, that's going to square everything up. We'll put glue on this side, grab one of our angles we cut. All right, now that that is tacked in place, I'm going to grab the back here and nail that together. All right, so now that we have two of the sides on, we need to put the middle divider here. And so I'm gonna show you the easiest way that I'm gonna do this is I'm going to take one of the shelves, push it there where it needs to sit, up against here. And then I'm gonna take this one, set it in place, and push it flush. And I'm also gonna get one and put it here too. So now that I have that tight in there, I'm gonna take my brad nailer, put a couple in there. So to make sure I'm getting my brad nail in, I know I got this one in up here. I'm gonna measure from the edge and see where it's at. So we're at exactly 11 1/4. So I'm gonna go down at 11 1/4. Is there any chance you kind of started to figure out what this is gonna be? If you figured it out, drop a comment below and let me know. So now this whole side here is gonna have a few shelves. It's gonna have 5 shelves in it. The first one is gonna be completely flush with the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in first because it's the easiest one to knock out. So now that the top shelf is in, I'm gonna make 2 spacers that are the tallest first, that I know the length that I need here. So I can put in this shelf, then I'll cut it down, so I can put it in this shelf, then I'll cut it down, and so on. So let me go ahead and get the correct spacing, figure out what it is I need, and make my cuts. All right, so I cut my spacers to length. Go ahead and put these in here, and grab the other shelf. So now you kind of get the idea of how the shelves are gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the process of putting the rest of these in. But like I said, I started with the longest spacer first. So now I can take this one and cut it to the next shelf height, put that one in, cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. And just like that, it's done. Now I wanna know, were you able to figure out what this is? Or are you looking at this and you still have no idea what it is? You probably don't because it's kind of a very niche item, but I'm gonna put one thing up here that should tell you what it is. It's a golf bag holder. So now I have a way that I can store my golf bag. I can put my shoes in here, balls in here, gloves, whatever, everything that has to do with golf in one spot. So instead of having it all around the house and your wife being mad at you, you can put it in one spot and it looks good. Now, I will end up painting this thing, probably black or white or some color to make it look good. Probably, you know, you could always make it look a little cleaner by putting some edge painting on everything, just cleaning it up a little bit. This was kind of a concept of an idea and I wanted to see how it came out, how it looks, and I like it. I think it'll be very useful and a good thing to add to my house. Something that you can easily add to your house. This is a one-day project or a one afternoon project, to be completely honest with you. Even with recording, this took me all about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to make. So super quick build. Like I said, I do have plans available on my website if you're interested in learning how to make this. It's step-by-step, shows through all the process of how to make it, including all the measurements and everything that you need to know. Now I know this video is a little bit different than my normal videos where I get straight to the point on what I'm building, how I'm building. If you kind of like this guessing game, let me know. Just something new I thought of I would try out. Do something a little bit different than what everybody else does on YouTube. Super cool project, I like it. If you like golf, I think it's something that would be good to add into your house. If you got a husband or best friend or somebody that loves golf, this is something that you can make for them. This is also something that you could sell if you wanted to. These go for about $200 to $250 online from the big box stores. So you could easily make that from it. And I mean, it's one sheet of plywood. I used 1/2-inch plywood, which cost me about 40 bucks. Pretty good profit if you did want to sell it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. If you did, leave me a comment below, let me know, and please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you get a chance. As always, get in your shop and build something and stay salty.